Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
Yo, welcome everybody to the Morning Dinner Podcast. Today we got our man Angelo Munji in the house. Moonhee.
What up, what up?
Should I say?
I mean, whichever one you prefer, man. I mean, most people say Munji, but Moonhee is the Filipino way to say it, so yeah.
Oh, so you're Filipino?
Yes, mostly, yeah.
I heard Filipino people and Mexican are like kind of almost the same as far as like how family is important.
Yeah, man, very like family oriented, you know, and like I always hear it all the time. It's like y'all Filipinos are like the Mexicans of Asia. I'm like, I mean, y'all are right, you know. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we all love food.
I know, yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you? You're Thai, right?
Yeah, I'm half Thai.
Yeah. So you don't even relate in the conversation.
Nah,
bro.
I'm just like completely.
Oh man, I feel
like,
bad. I don't know. It's like,
Nah,
no.
We all love Chuck. So we wanted to bring you on the podcast, bro, because we checked out your music, and it's pretty dope.
Thank you, man.
I gotta say, like, I was watching your music videos and, and just kind of like I kind of did like some YouTube stalking.
Oh man.
And I went far back into like Guitar Boy 702 when you used to have your
dude.
your YouTube channel. So
that's way far back.
So tell us a little bit, man. Like, how did you get started making music?
Really, I was also like always a musician, you know. I was always like playing instruments and stuff, and I was mainly doing like piano and like guitar, and I actually didn't really do like singing until like way later on in like high school and stuff. I was kind of like that guy that was kind of like just messing around in like the showers or like would hum to himself, and all that. And like how it started was there was this competition that I was a part of. It was an acting competition because I'm an actor also.
Okay.
And we were allowed to do like a second talent, so to speak. And like my manager was just like, you know what, you should try singing. I was just like, I've never done that kind of shit before. It's like not in front of like, you know, in front of people, you know. So I tried it out, and like out of like the 2,000 guys that were there, I was like first runner up. I was just like, oh damn, like maybe like I do got something to offer, you know. And like Guitar Boy wasn't actually a name that I thought of. I remember I was walking around the convention where the competition was at, and then there was this like this parent from like another state, like with his kid. He's like, oh look, it's a Guitar Boy from Vegas.
Yeah.
And then my dad kind of just looked at me. He's just like, Guitar Boy. I just like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
you are Guitar Boy.
Yeah,
now.
so that's kind of like how I came up with like the name. Well, I didn't come up with it, but I was kind of given that name, you know, and I kind of just rolled with it, you know. So
then that kind of turned into like a passion of like you wanting to pursue music, like singing and playing wise, and that's what inspired like you creating your own YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just started off for fun, you know. Like I remember when I first started posting up the videos, it was more of just like, I remember my very first video I did with my cousin, and we like sang "I'm Yours" by Jason Mraz. Yeah. And we just put it up, and like mainly for just family to see. And like I woke up the next day and it had like 2K views out of nowhere. This was back in like 2007, 2008. So that was kind of like a big deal.
And so you're like the OG of YouTube.
Yeah, like I like made the account like 2006, like to like watch the videos and everything. But like I didn't start posting up videos till like 2007, 2008. And like I saw that, and I'm just like, wow, this kind of got some traction, you know. So,
2,000 views back in the day, bro.
Yeah, back in the day,
it's almost like the dollar bill, bro. Like $1 in 1950 versus $1 in 2018. Like it's completely different value wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So like it was cool, like seeing that people were actually watching it, you know. So I'm just like, I'll just make some more just for fun. Yeah. And next thing you know, like people were coming in, like requests and all that, and like the subscriber counts were going up. And I was just like, wow, like this is pretty cool, you know. Like back then though, I didn't really think much of like the business side or anything. This was just something cool to do on the side after like I got home from school. Yeah, had time, just put the camera up and. You know,
I think that's how it's usually like gonna turn out the most organic wise.
Right. Yeah.
Is when you don't do it with a goal, and you don't do it with like I need to have this many subscribers by this time, or I need to make this amount of money doing it. Like it's more of like I'm doing it because I love doing it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and there's no expectations to it, and you just give it all that you've got, and you know what you get back. What you get back is what you get back. You know.
Exactly.
And you got back pretty good stuff, right? Like you.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely really surprising. Like it blew up out of nowhere. I remember like the one video that I knew was just like, man, like this is really what kicked off my channel. Yeah. But this is before Justin Bieber blew up. Like he was making videos up on YouTube and everything, and then he just came out with his song One Time. Yeah. Nobody knew who he was. So I was just like, I feel like this kid is like gonna be hella popular. So I covered the song, and dude, from there, like everything was like going up, man. Subscribers like every day, and people were loving it, and like it's just like, wow, like this video really blew up. And like I haven't actually checked the video in a while, but I think it's like 900,000, I think. I mean,
views?
last time I
Jeez,
checked.
man.
So
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
yeah, but it was like looking at it now, like I feel like it was really more of like, you know, the mindset and the timing that really like helped the channel grow, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like those were like just really two big important things when it came to like how that channel did, you know, versus like, you know, now, you know, especially nowadays, it's so different now. So yeah.
How often were you posting back in the day?
Pretty much like whenever I had the chance. I didn't really have a set schedule. It was more of like people requested for stuff. I would take the time to learn it, and then whenever I had a chance to record it, then I would. There wasn't really like a set schedule or like a time limit or anything. And it was just raw, man. Just had that digital camera, put it on like a stand, and just record from there, you know? Just nothing professional, just raw as can be.
I think that's how everybody kind of starts out, either with a webcam or like, you know, whatever you have going, whatever you have lying around.
Right, yeah, you don't really like think about the quality and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it records, so
you know what's
why
funny
not?
is you don't think about the quality.
No, man.
And like you said, you like that video that you weren't even thinking about like about the quality wise. It's almost at 1 million views. You know what I mean? But then not, like nowadays, like we take so much time and energy like into producing something that's gonna, you know, hopefully do those numbers. But it just goes to show you that you can't. There's no formula to creating something that's gonna hit. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's the thing. Like you mentioned, like nowadays it's just so different, man. Like I feel like that's one of the big things too. Like back in like the 2008 era of like YouTube and everything, back when they had like the 5 stars and like the description boxes on the side, so all the YouTubers would point to the side and everything.
There were stars on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Classic times. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
man.
remember that?
It was like it was 1 out of 5 stars. 5 stars would be like, yo, this video was the bomb, and like 1 star would be like, yo, this sucks. Like take the shit
it
off,
was
you know.
I don't even remember that, bro.
Yeah, man. That's how it used to be. And like back then though, man, like I feel like what hella changed too is back then, you know, people didn't even think about going on YouTube, you know? Like people were too scared of the fact, thinking that, oh man, millions of people are, like have the chance to see what I put up, you know? And that was terrifying back then, man.
Yeah.
Like it was more difficult to put yourself out there because like you're going to be judged by everybody. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't as normal as today.
Exactly. See, nowadays, like if you want to like, all right, think of like social media, first thing that comes up is YouTube, you know? Just like, oh, post something on YouTube. Like back then people were like more nervous about it. They were just like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I should go that route, you know? Like, it wasn't like a go-to. Like, YouTube wasn't as big. And I feel like back then people were just scared of, like, putting themselves out there, you know?
It's like, it's with everything, bro. Like, even like with online dating.
Oh,
you know, like think about 2005. If you were on eHarmony, you were one of those weirdos. You're like,
Right.
you got to go online to find a date. But it's like nowadays, it's like everybody has 3-4 dating apps on their phone. You know what I mean? And they're like trying, like it's the norm. It's the norm now. No one really bats an eye, you know, kind of like paying for things on the internet with a credit card.
I know,
nowadays it's like swipe to pay.
Right, exactly.
You don't even think about it. But back in the 90s, like if you did that, you're like, whoa, dude, you're gonna get your stuff stolen.
Yeah, like your identity stolen and all
Yeah.
that. Like it's so convenient now, man. But like, oh, your card, like, all right, here you go. Like it's not even like a thought, you know. It's just like
it's crazy how like time just seems to kind of like change everybody's you know. What is it? Their expectation or their
comfort level.
Their comfort level, yeah.
Like it has to be like adjusted to what they can get to really fast and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's all about convenience now, man. Like just super convenient for them.
I never even thought about that, bro. How like how back in the day it wasn't normal to upload a YouTube video.
Yeah, man.
Almost like it wasn't normal to go out and vlog yourself in front of people.
You know, people would like hella stare at you, be like, "What the hell is he doing?"
Yeah, because nobody did it. So
exactly, yeah.
People just looked at you like, "That guy's crazy," you know.
I know.
But nowadays, like I'll see 3-4 people a day doing that, and I won't even like this dude was taking a selfie at the movie theater the other day, and I was like, "Oh, he's taking a selfie." Didn't think anything about it.
I know it's so normal now. Then like even like social media in general, like everybody has it, man. Like even like kids nowadays too.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like I went outside, like played with friends, like played some video games, but like that was it. Like even video games, man. Like back then it was like you at your house with like maybe friends coming over, but now you could play with like people around the world, dude. Like you could be in the comfort of your home playing with somebody in like Japan or like Korea. It's just like, man, it's just everything nowadays has just gone to that level, you know. It's like it's nuts.
I was so anti. Were you this way, Chuck? Like I was antisocial when I was a kid. Like I didn't want to hang out with friends when I was a kid. I don't know why it was, but it got to the point where like friends would come over from school, and I'd tell my older sister who used to like babysit me, I was like, hey, tell him I'm sick. Tell him I can't come out.
Yo, tell him to go home, man.
Now,
you were like that?
Yeah, bro.
That's so funny because you're like such a different character now.
I'm completely
I was
different.
opposite.
Right,
I was
yeah.
really I love going outside and playing and stuff. But
Yeah,
now
man.
it's like now I'm kind of like introvert. I'm like
I feel that too, kind of. Like, you just kind of just like, you get to that point and it's like, I don't really, I'm good.
Yeah.
You want to go out somewhere? I'm like, no, good. I'm good. I'm good.
I think we're just getting older. You know what I mean?
I know,
it's
right?
just like,
Oh,
we're just
man.
like,
Hey, Chuck, you should come up on the microphone. How about that?
Ooh.
There we go.
Closer?
Ooh.
Well, last time I got too close to the mic and he's like, you're too high. You're too high.
Yeah, because you scream, bro.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Anyways, before we get derailed like every other podcast, so let's talk about your YouTube channel. So you know you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
But did you recently switch to a new YouTube channel? Like,
I
what
did.
happened?
So the thing was, I got to that point where, because after high school, I was like part of like numerous bands and everything, and I was kind of just getting burnt out from the videos and all that, and I was just like, I thought about it too, and I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't want to be known as Guitar Boy anymore, you know, like I don't want that alias.
Yeah.
And the thing was, like, at the time when I was thinking about this is when YouTube's like, yo, if you chose your URL, you can't change it.
Yeah.
You know, so even if you could change your display name, like
Yeah.
your username, you can't change your URL. So I'm just like, damn it, dude, like, that's like a big thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, what's your URL? Guitar Boy 702. Like, but you're not a boy though. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know? So I kind of just decided to kind of like make a new channel, and I know it was. I know, like, some people was like, oh, like, why'd you do that? You should have kept going with your old channel, you know, because you had so much, like, leverage. You had, like, all the subscribers. But, like, after a while, like, you could just tell, like, the view count was just going down. Like, people weren't watching as often. New YouTubers were, like, coming up. And it's just like, you know what, like, I just want to do this for myself. So
Yeah.
even if I don't have that subscriber count, like, I still want to do it,
You wanted
know?
to do it for your purpose of identity, right?
Exactly, yeah. And, like, I also kind of wanted to prove to myself that it wasn't just a fluke. Like, it's not just because, like, I got that wave in 2008 where, like YouTuber musicians were, like, really starting to blow up.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of caught a little bit of that wave, and I kind of, like, wanted to prove to myself, like, you can do it again, you know? Like times are different now, like shit's different, but, like, you could still, like, make it happen, you know?
Yeah,
so,
if it happened once, it can definitely happen again.
yeah.
I
I mean, obviously things are different now. There's ways to go about it differently, and, like, with YouTube's algorithm and, like, the apocalypse and all that,
And
like,
just the
things,
saturation.
oversaturation, man. But I feel like that's just it in, like, arts in general, man. You know,
Yeah.
like, not even just musicians or YouTubers, vloggers, photographers.
Everything.
Yes, everything, man. And I just feel like it's because we're getting to that age now where people are realizing that you don't need to have that typical 9 to 5 anymore. You know, there's a future in your phone. Like, there's ways for you to make things happen at the comfort of your own home, you know? And, like, I feel like we're getting to that age where people are just realizing that, you know? Which is why, yeah, there is such an oversaturation of, like, you know.
That is crazy, man. Because I do remember, like, when I was younger, like, if you wanted to be a photographer, you were mostly thinking about getting a job as a photographer. Like, you know, you would go to a studio and you would work there, or you would teach it. You know, like, you were thinking so traditionally. We never thought, like, oh, you could freelance, like, you could charge for portraits, or you could.
Plus the fact that just it wasn't easy to get that equipment. It wasn't just
that too
cheap. You know what I mean? Everything was super expensive, from music equipment to anything. I guess instruments are still kind of expensive, but you got like FL Studio and whatnot, and like DAWs and whatnot that are like super cheap, and you can do anything.
Yeah, right. Even that, like, too, like, people are, like, producing themselves now. You know, back then when you were doing music, if you wanted to, like, know about someone, it's like word of mouth.
Yeah.
And, like, if you wanted to go into the studio, you'd go to, like, a professional studio. Now people are, like, stocked up on home studios, man. Like, like, it's kind of like surprising. Like, you'd be like, hey, come to my studio. You go over there, it's like legit, like, just their bedroom. Be like, dope. Like, I like it. The comfort of your own home.
They have monitors built into the walls. Their computer, like, desk, like, lifts up. Like,
right. No,
got neon lights everywhere.
Acoustically treated and everything.
Bro,
For real, like, the works and everything, man.
I think it's also, like, a big thanks to it is because of the internet, like YouTube. You know, people making videos like how to make your own home studio.
Yeah, right. You could learn legit from YouTube.
What's the best microphone for vocals? You know, or like how to record in your bedroom, like. And people have done stuff like that and recorded, like, hit singles, like, especially like now. A lot of artists, bro, like, they'll record stuff when they're on tour. Like,
I know.
You know, they don't need a fancy studio. They have their microphone, their audio interface, and they're on the tour bus and they're getting down.
You, man. It's so convenient too. Like, legit, like, you talking about tour, and then, like, you just make that thing, send it over to your guy, and be like, hey, like, I made this. spiffy it up a little bit. Like I'll put some lines on it. And be
well,
like,
yeah. If you compare it back in the day where you had to schedule, or not even so much just schedule, bro, but like, because I was watching this documentary called Sound City. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't actually.
You should check it out. It was produced by Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters.
Oh wait, I think I have actually.
Yeah,
then.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was like,
Sound
hold on,
City.
yeah.
And they were talking about the studio called Sound City that was in Van Nuys, California, or LA, I think. And how Nirvana booked the studio for like a month or something, and they ended up paying like $70,000 to have their album not produced, but like engineered,
right?
Start to finish. Like that's crazy, bro.
I know.
Like somebody should pay me $70,000 to come to my house and I'll record them.
I know, right? For real, bro. I know,
that's a salary, bro.
I know, dude. For real, bro.
But it's like the technology back in the day where you had to have an entire building, spec'd out to be able to do what you can do now on your iPhone, like
it's nuts, dude. I was like, dude,
it's such a trip.
It really is, man.
So
like,
do you have your own home studio?
Working on it. It's a work in progress. Okay. And it's just work with what I got. Like the first album that I recorded and put out, I actually like recorded myself. And like it's awesome, man. It's just like, man, like I did this myself, like you learn that stuff and you just like do it yourself, that's just where we are now.
Yeah.
And everything. But like it's a work in progress, man. Like I learn, and there's like, I'm always learning, man. It's always a learning thing. So yeah.
100%, man. I mean, even like with this podcast too, back in the day, you would need to have like a whole production studio, a whole production team to be able to produce what we're doing right now, where you have 3 different camera angles, 3 microphones, all feeding into one interface, and then live streaming to the internet. Like that was some television stuff.
Yeah, straight broadcasting and everything. It's wild, man. So
how do you think technology has made it better or worse for people nowadays?
Oh, man, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a double-edged sword, man. Yeah. Honestly, because I mean, with our phones and like technology nowadays, like there's convenience, and there's also like I don't know, like I just feel like there's also like a loss of like authenticity. I feel like a lot of things nowadays are like very superficial.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I remember like going through like my news feed one time, and like I legit just stopped, and like I kind of just thought about like, man, like I'm always on my phone, dude. Like, I just like, yeah, I like back in the day I would have gotten like yelled at for being like on my Game Boy, but like, yo, you've been playing that for way too damn long, But now it's just like I could be like on my phone all day, and like you lose track of time, and like there's just that part of like not like relationships, but like interaction that I feel like we've kind of lost, like some kind of like authenticity when it comes to interaction, And I feel like we're kind of like at that point too where we're kind of like seeking like validation in a way, like, oh, I don't feel good, like maybe I could like go to like the social media and all that to kind of like make myself feel better, It's like
kind of like an endorphin high, like you're like looking for that candy, that little bit of juice that's gonna get you to like, it almost distracts you to the point where you don't notice that nothing's happening.
Yeah, because I mean it does feel good, like, when people praise you and you kind of get that attention. It feels good, man. But like I feel like there's like so much of that, it's just like, man, like you're like attention seekers, or like, fishing for compliments and all that. Like you really see that nowadays, like growing up, and you just, it's become like so like, wow, like that's what it is. Like it's really, really vivid right now that you could really see that going on. And it's just like, man, like it's kind of sad because I feel like back then people didn't give a shit. It's just like, like I'm living my life. That's like what's important. But like now I feel like people are like, there's a fear of like missing out on a lot of stuff, like there's like, oh, what's going on? Like, like there's like a separation from everything that's going on, and it kind of sucks. That's why I kind of like it sometimes, where I kind of just like, all right, like let me just step back a little bit and kind of like just breathe and like live my life a little bit, So yeah.
What about like not even the aspect so much of like social media, but let's talk about like how anybody can record anything at any time and make a hit single. Like, what do you think is the good and the bad, like the good, like positives and negatives of how easily accessible, a recording studio is, or like, making your own music video, or, being able to do things nowadays that you wouldn't be able to do 20 years ago?
Well, I feel like back in the day, I really felt like people really took the time to filter out the talent. I feel like because it's so accessible, like that's kind of like a problem in itself, where like people who think that they will do it, and sometimes just like, like, what are you thinking? Like you're not meant for this, but of course like they have access to it, And I feel like that was like one of the things too is one of the downsides is because you can't really tell who the real talent is.
Yeah.
You know, especially in studios nowadays, like there's so many things to like fix up errors and everything, you know, like it's just like, you know, with like auto-tune and all that and just making things and
it's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Because
like,
not like now, in my opinion, like there's people who shouldn't be famous, but they are because it's so accessible. But not even just that, but like they have their, some people, all they need is the specific niche. Like,
right, yeah.
Like look at that girl. What was her name? The girl who did the Jerry Springer episode. What?
Catch Me Outside.
Catch
girl?
Me Outside girl.
Oh man.
Like she wasn't even an artist, bro. And because of how powerful the internet and how easily like how people manipulated the footage, they turned it into something that like they gave her a career. She's got millions of followers now.
I mean, the thing is, remember back in the day, it was on what is that? The one with the singing American Idol. Remember the Asian guy and he did
William Hung. Yeah, William Hung.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that was like. To me, that was like some of the first viral stuff. Like those days, like
yeah, it was like, obviously you're not good, but like it was like a fun thing to watch. Like you're like, you know, like you're not like that great, but like you're taking it like a champ, and like he was an enjoyable character, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Catch Me Outside girls, like I remember like when I read up like that, I think it was Atlantic that signed her. I was like,
she signed?
Yeah, I think she signed. And then I was like reading up on it, I'm just like, why? Like why? But then like I thought about it, I'm like, yo. She has such a reach, though, man.
Oh, for
like,
sure. Marketing
wise. See, that's the thing. Like, marketing move for sure. Like, they know that all eyes are on this girl right now.
Yeah.
They don't care if she sounds like shit. Like, they know that, like, she has so much reach, so who gives a shit? They know that people are going to pay attention to her, you know?
It's reach and it's attention.
Yeah, dude.
Like, back in the day when, like, the Beatles were coming out, right? I think labels and big executive, you know, people, like, they looked at somebody with the potential of, like, okay, they're good looking, okay, they have a great sound, what's to hate, right?
Right, yeah.
But now with the you know, the explosion of the internet and how anybody can become famous for doing anything,
I know, man.
It's more like who can get the most attention, not so much who has the most talent.
I know, man.
But who can sell the most tickets, who can get the most retweets. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Kylie Jenner. Let's talk about Kylie Jenner real quick.
Oh yeah, she's almost
how she just hit. Was it,
almost a billionaire.
She has $900 million.
Dude, like that's crazy. 20.
She's 20.
Mm-hmm.
She's turned 21, I think, this year. She turned 21. That's just ridiculous. Like
you
beat
that,
out,
bro.
You beat out Evan Spiegel, and he created Snapchat at like 25. But it's like, damn, and she hasn't done anything. Like that's crazy.
It just goes back to your point, man. It's just like eyes on her, man. Like she has that name, she has that power, you know. So.
Let's give props where you know, credit where credit is due, though. she didn't technically like, and I'm just my opinion, but I don't, even though I don't feel like she yes, a lot of people, you can make the argument that you know, she came into the whatever she has now because of her sister or parents, whatever. All this attention just, you know, came her way. It did take a little bit of a business mind and a little bit of guidance to be able to take that into a whole. Because she has Kylie Cosmetics.
Management or shout out to her.
I don't know, man. I just think you got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, so that was a smart move,
just because I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Like I don't know if it was her idea to make Kylie Cosmetics or whatever. I just, you know, that's a huge accomplishment for 21. I mean, nuts, Justin Bieber, like, you know, he didn't even have $21 million when he. Wait, hold on. No, he had way more than that, probably, huh?
Yeah, but he had freaking like Usher and Justin Timberlake fighting for him. I'm like, damn, man, what a dream. I was like,
no, you know what's crazy? I don't think Justin Bieber even came close to that amount of success.
No, dude, a lot of, like, I mean, look at Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
not even close
when you look at huge artists or even huge actors, like you know, Tom Hanks. I'm talking out of my butt right now, bro. But like, if you look at some of their net worth, it's like 150 million, 250 million, but like 900, almost $1 billion. Like, she'll probably have $1 billion by the next year, bro.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know the technicalities on if she owns. It's like Dr. Dre, you know, like he's gonna be the first billionaire because he sold Beats by Dre for this much. But I guess in like the whole business world, it's not really like she owns 900 million net worth of the company. She owns probably a specific amount. Yeah. She's probably maybe like a. Still doesn't matter.
That's a team effort. I mean, you're still getting a cut of that good percentage though.
Like
so
that's true. That's true. Or even with like with like an artist, you know, an artist doesn't get all the money themselves, right? Like they have to pay publishers, they have to pay for distribution or their record label, their management. They have to pay for if they do tours.
Yeah,
they're paying everybody that's working those shows, right?
Yeah, man. That's another thing too. Is like back then you thought like to be a musician you need a label to be successful.
Oh,
not anymore.
Not anymore, man. I see so many indie artists like killing it, man. And, and like it's awesome. Like that's the one thing I love about it though is like it kind of destroys that cliche that you need a label or you need like that kind of thing to kind of like make you successful, you know. And it's not true anymore. Yeah. You know, and that's awesome. I think that's totally awesome.
Even though like an argument can be made both sides, where like you said back in the day, it's too weird to do music full time and be your own artist or be your own label. And now in 2018, you can say, well, it's too hard because there's too many artists out there. You know, like it's always gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
So I say if you got a passion to do it, just do it, and don't get disappointed if you don't get what you want out of it, as long as you're happy doing it.
I feel like that's another thing too, just harden yourself, man. There's so much rejection, there's so much of like things not working out, you know, and that's just the norm, man. Especially for us, it's just how it is, you know. Take more no's, but be patient with it, you know.
The game is just weird, man. I'm gonna be honest, like I love like funk music. I love like 80s music, partly because of Chuck. Like we listened to like that breakbot mixtape that you sent me, bro.
That's all I listen to is mostly oldies. I like all types of music, but oldies are just I don't know. It's just so funky. Like just like damn, when they back then they just and I don't know how to explain this, but I've seen so many musicians that are amazing and great, but they're boring. And I'm like, you got to do something different. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
And back in the day, I know. You know, that was all different. That wasn't really happening. You know, people were really like bringing all this new music, and I get it now. It's once again saturated, so everybody has to take influence from everything else and create their own type of music. But it is possible because there's still artists I find that are completely like out of this world. I'm like,
you really had to like think out of that box, man. It's just like wow, like I would have never thought, dude. No, but those are always some like such great finds. You know, it's like there's still like those artists that are just trying to break away from that mainstream thing and like kind of do their own thing. It's just like wow, like that's awesome, you know. Like do your thing, man. Like go ahead.
do you think it's sad that somebody like let's just no specific, I don't have any specific names for this, but let's just say like Migos would put out a song, right? And it's featuring whoever the hell, and it's got 600 million views in a day, right? But then you go to like somebody like who's unknown that much, they have a little bit of a following, they post it on Vimeo and they maybe get like 1,000, 2,000 views. Like do you think it's sad, or do you think it's like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, back then it's like, oh man, like this person has so much talent, you know. Back then I would have been like, oh, like that's not fair, like but at the end of the day, like what we were talking about, like it's not necessarily all about the talent, you know. Like it's that attention, it's that feedback that is. So I could kind of understand from like a marketing standpoint, like where they're coming, and like that stuff nowadays, like it hits with people, you know. It's just like they feel it. They don't have to necessarily enjoy it, but like you'll see them, like if the song's going on, they'll bounce their head, they'll move around with it. They don't have to like it, but like it gets to them, you know. Yeah. So
well, just look at somebody like Kali Uchis, right? Like I just found out about Kali Uchis a couple of like maybe like late last year. And even though she's no Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? Like she's no Mariah Carey, like, you know, those levels, but because she knows how to brand herself, she knows how to like do her art direction for her music videos. She knows the kind of music that she has to make. She garnered that attention.
See, that's the thing. Is just like some people just know, like right off the bat. Like that's the thing. I'm so jealous because like at the moment I'm still like trying to find that, you know. Yeah. Like it's like a work in progress. Because back then when I was doing YouTube, like I was doing like some acoustic stuff, covers and stuff, you know. But like I was like good at imitating other artists, you know. But I wasn't. It was like hard for me to like find myself. Yeah. So that's why it's like it's been like a work in progress, and like it's so important, like the branding and everything. And
how does an artist brand themselves, like?
Well, I feel like the really important thing is to like know yourself. You know, like this is a passion, and obviously, you know, you're really passionate about it. But I feel like one of the very few important steps is to like really know who you are as an artist. You know, and like with me, I had like a problem with that because I was this guy on YouTube making covers, but who am I outside of that? And that's like what I wanted to find. You know. And like slowly but surely, like I'm like making my way up there, and like I know I am, and that's like the good thing. But like branding yourself not only like music wise, but I feel like as an individual, Because I feel like you could be really talented, you could like make great music and everything, but I feel like another thing that is really important is yourself, like people getting to know who you are and like associating you with not only the music but like as an individual, you know. Like I feel like that's also like really, really important, and I feel like that's like really important when it comes to branding. So it's not even just like the music and everything, but I feel like how you hold yourself up as a person. And, you know,
it shouldn't be something that you have to work hard towards.
Yeah,
it should be something that comes natural. Yeah.
It's kind of surprising though, because sometimes it could be like an uphill battle, man. You know, sometimes it's just like, wow, this is like a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. You know, like you feel like you figured yourself out, but then like down the line, you're like, wait, like
you have different influences.
Yeah, like it's different. Like, and that's another thing too, is like influence is like you don't want to like imitate someone. You know, like you kind of like it's understandable like being inspired by somebody, but like don't rip them off, you know, like don't be their shadow, you know, because that's not what you want to be. Is you don't want to be known to be somebody else's shadow, you know.
That's kind of how we were talking with Dalton on the last episode.
Same with cinematography and photography.
It's cool to get inspired by other artists, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, nothing in this world is 100% original. Everything's been done.
Right.
But it's just how can you make it your own?
Exactly. That's the important thing too. Is like how do you make it your own? You know, like you don't want to. Well, you clearly ripped that off. You know, it's like no, like that's not the mindset. But like you're still trying to find yourself. You know, and same thing with you guys. It's just like, oh well, I didn't mean to copy like that. You know, like I'm just trying to find my way. You know, kind of thing.
Because I was gonna say too, like have you ever heard of like you know when people like steal tracks from other people? Yeah. And they said, no, I swear I didn't even know about this song and stuff. Like, do you believe that, though, to an extent? Like, you've heard a chord progression maybe somewhere, and you kind of forgot who that was, and then you did it yourself, and it's like, wow, this is dope. And you kept going with it, and then you're like, wait a minute. And then you find a song that's exactly like, or somebody's like, that sounds like this song. You're like, damn.
I've had it happen so many times. Like, I've had, like, just recently, I had, like, a song, because I remember I had a show, and I was teaching it to this one girl that was, you know, helping me out with the live show and everything. And then I was like showing her like, oh, these are the notes and everything. And she was playing it. She's like, this is from this group. I was just like, no, it's not. She pulls the song up and legit, it was the same thing. I was just like I swear, like I didn't mean to, like, you know, like it's just unintentional, but it happens, you know, like it really does happen, you know, like it's hard to make really, really original stuff when things have been done already.
I think if you make something that's I feel like if you make something that's completely original, where it's like no one's ever done it before, it probably doesn't sound that good. You know, it's like rocks hitting the wall. It's like a drip sound. Right.
It's kind of like there's a reason as to why people are using other things. You know,
this is the reason why nobody makes this type of music.
Dude, I'll be driving in the car sometimes, and I'll listen to like Pandora radio or something, and songs will come up. And then I'll start singing those songs, but then out of nowhere, I'll start singing a different song because it's in the same key. It has the same kind of like chord progression, and it's like you can almost like how people make mashups. Right?
I love doing that shit, though. I love doing that.
Keem can really be a good DJ because every time we're listening to this song, he starts singing another song. I was like, damn, that matched perfect.
Yeah, right.
I was like, damn, bro,
man.
You should DJ.
Me and my
sister.
That's a
sidekick right
there, dude. We would do it all the time. We just do it for fun, man. But it's always interesting because you never know. Like you'll have a song from 2010, and then you'll match it up with a song from like 1950, you know, like
that's what I do in my shows, man. Like sometimes I'll have like a mashup here and there. Like I think like my two popular ones that I do is there's Justin Timberlake and I mash it up with Drake. That's one, and then the most recent one that I do is Khaled with TLC. So it's just like
that's dope.
It's just fun, man. It's just like wow, like it's a fun little thing to do, you know. And I totally know what you mean. Like songs going on and you sing something else, it's just like yeah, this definitely goes with that, you know.
Have you ever heard of? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask because what was your first show? That's something I wanted to know.
My very first show as a solo artist. It was actually. All right, so the one like that I clearly remember was my first show was back in how long ago was this? I don't remember how long ago it was. Maybe 2012, I think 2011, I think. And I'm not sure if you guys know the YouTuber AJ Raphael.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I opened up for him. That was like my very first show.
Really?
And stuff. Yeah.
That was your first show, bro?
That was my first show as a solo artist. Yeah.
Damn.
And it was cool. Like, it was definitely different, you know, because like I said, that was around the time where I had that YouTubey sound.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to get away from that, but like I was too good at it, you know. It's just like that's the thing. Is like I'm too good at it.
What'd you play at exactly? out here?
It's kind of like street portraits.
Yeah. Everything's the same.
Everybody does the exact same pose in street portraits, but it's just so easy and fun to do. You know,
it is, man. Like that's the thing.
Sorry, Chuck. I think I cut you off, bro.
No. You're good. You're good. I just asked where was it at?
Oh, the venue. It was kind of like this. At the time, it was called the Sanctuary. It was hella funny because during the day it was a church, but at night they made it into a venue and everything. So
that's kind of dope.
Yeah. It's like you would have never guessed. It was a dope setup and everything, and like it was definitely a good show. I was just like, wow, like.
Well, was that in Vegas downtown?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know where that's at.
It was like down like Spring Mountain and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Oh man.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, and I cut you off. What do you want to ask him?
Honestly, I think I forgot, bro.
Oh man.
I think for the next time, I should probably just go first because I have the worst memory, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll forget things like that.
I'm just like, damn, when could I slip in? And like, he's like still talking and whatnot. I'm like,
so, real quick, what's your plans for like the future? Do you have any plans, specific plans?
I really do, man, because I feel like as an artist, there really isn't a time where you could just be like, oh, well, I'm done with everything. Yeah. There really isn't.
No. There's no way.
No, there is absolutely no way that you could just sit down and be like, well, I'm done with everything. Just wait for something to happen, you know?
Yeah.
No, there's always something to do because as of right now, what I'm planning to do is I'm really trying to set up a tour for next year. Because as of right now, I'm really trying to work on my online presence, really like market the shit out of my stuff, you know, because the writing and recording, like I've been working on that no problem, but I feel like another thing as an artist is social media and really just marketing yourself,
that's
man.
your business side, man. You definitely need that.
That's really, really important, you know.
It's tough for me too, so I'm
people make jobs out of it. We had Kyle on here, and we were talking about that.
Ooh, homie Kyle Harris,
Yep, and we were just talking about how like it's literally a job, and you can get paid like $10,000 a month for doing it if you're good,
man.
If you're good enough at it, you know.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, and he's great at it. You know, he knows his stuff, and it's kind of like at the thing where like there's some like negligence, and like people are just like, you can't make that into a job. Like, there's no way you can do that kind of thing. I was like, well, if you look into the times that we're in now, you can, you know.
You
what
really can.
was messed up is that it's not messed up, but like what's interesting is that there's jobs now that there wasn't 20 years ago.
No, yeah, definitely.
You know, like who would have thought that you could sit in your room playing video games and you could be the #1 most like grossing, highest paid YouTuber of all, like PewDiePie.
Dude, I know.
You know, like
it's nuts, man.
That guy makes like I'm gonna speculate. I think he makes like a good 10-20 grand a month.
I know he was like talking about like how much he made.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, like he was so nonchalant about it because like, dude, like I don't give a shit. Like I just do this for fun, and like people were like giving him hell shit, like why would you like release that to the public? Like why would you hella talk about it? He's like, well, like I don't care. Like that's just how it is. But I enjoy what I do. I'm like, that's really what it comes down to, man. Like he enjoys it, you know. So
yeah, and I mean like there's a Twitch guy named Ninja.
Oh yeah,
he makes like 500,000 just from subscribers on Twitch. That doesn't talk about all this donation. I mean, it makes me happy because I'm a nerd. So it's
same
like,
here, dude.
So I'm
me
like,
too.
Nerd power.
Me
like,
too,
we're
man.
coming up. You know, we were all made fun of back in the day. Nerds didn't really have a chance, but now they do. Now nerds are like the richest people in the
I know, right?
In the
people
world.
like,
Sorry,
it's just like you make money for playing video games. I'm like, I do
actually.
Yeah,
like you actually, they have high schools now and stuff, or the college programs or something like that, where they can teach you esports. That's crazy.
I know, dude.
Really?
I love esports, man.
That's a thing.
Like that video game high school that Rocket Jump did.
Oh,
like,
dude, I love that.
That could be a real thing.
That could be a real thing. I love that series, by the way, too.
I haven't watched it. Is it good?
It was cool. I guess I just wanted to watch it because it was done by Freddie Wong. I was just like, I looked up to this dude.
Yeah.
You listen to Just Kidding Films and all that?
Oh, yes. Just Kidding Films. I'm a really big Wong Fu Productions fan also. Okay. Like, that's like kind of like also helped my acting and everything. Is like I love stories, man. Like I love diving into stories and like diving into being this character and everything, and that's kind of like what got me into it, you know. So I'm telling you, man, YouTube like done a lot for me, like music wise, like everything that I've been like so interested in was like based off of like YouTube, you know.
That's dope.
And this is so dope because you have so much, you have free college, free everything on YouTube, man.
You can learn
like
everything.
you get
man.
I almost feel like it's getting to that point where like if something would happen to my car, like, you know, engine wise, I could probably find a video that tells me what part I need, where I need to do, like in order to fix that problem.
No, for real.
Or even like, you know, with anything around the house, like whatever it is, what I don't personally know how to fix, like I can just find the answer.
I mean, it's like Lynda too. Lynda is like the most intricate video service I've ever seen, because like they'll do like how to open up Photoshop, how to click on file. You know, they go through every single step. So I'm like,
tutorial style and everything, man.
Have you ever heard of Lynda?
No, I haven't actually.
It's a website called lynda.com that's like, what, 30, 40, 50 bucks a month or something?
Sponsor us.
No.
No?
I wish.
Shout out.
But basically, this website you go to, it's a subscription-based website, and they can literally teach you any software, hardware,
super
like
intricate though.
No
like
way.
It's boring. Like I was watching it.
Like you need to really like if you do the entire course, you will be really good at what it is you're trying to learn.
Damn, man.
Yeah, they go in depth.
I learned like After Effects a little bit on Lynda.
Ooh, After Effects.
Yeah.
Special effects and everything. I know a lot of people use After Effects for like special effects and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Freddie Wong getting me into all that stuff.
Crazy dude on
Corridor Digital.
So did you start as a photographer or video?
I actually started as a photographer.
Okay.
And then, video wasn't a thing. There was a 5D Mark II, but
Your T2i did video though.
no, but see this I had a Rebel. This is like I had a Rebel when I was in like 10th grade. I bought my own Rebel because I worked at this skate shop, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a camera because my homie was doing skate photography and he was amazing. And I was like, I'm gonna try this. So I literally got I saved up all my money, and I worked at this skate shop or this house that sold skateboards. Bro, made no money from there. Made like $150 a week.
It was enough to buy your camera.
Yeah,
though.
I was able to get the camera, and then I started taking photos. And then I remember the T1i came out, and I was like, damn, that looks amazing, because it's like the 5D Mark II, and then the T2i
Oh, damn, this is before the T1i?
Yeah, this is way before. Way before.
Sorry, man, we're like geeking out.
No, you're all good. I don't know why, y'all started talking about cameras, and I just thought about this thing that I saw, I think at UNLV or something, but they have a class for iPhone photo.
What?
No
yeah, they have
kidding.
iPhone photography as a legit class that you can take, and I'm just like, man, we really got to that point.
Yeah,
we really got to that point. That's dope.
I've taken some dope shots on my iPhone because I'll have all the lighting already set up,
right?
And then I'll be shooting on my main camera, but then I'll just pull out my iPhone real quickly. Let's just see what this portrait mode's all about.
Right.
And I've been surprised plenty of times.
That Chromeo photo is probably still one of my favorite ones.
That was just Natural Light too.
Yeah,
the one of Chromeo on stage.
I'm telling you, it's scary, bro.
Whoa.
It's like welcome to the age, man. It's just like
So let's talk a little bit about music-wise. What's your process when you go into writing a song? Are you the kind of artist you need to be inspired by something external to write it, or do you kind of go I want to write a song about love?
Honestly, man, it could go both ways. Sometimes I'll listen to something or I'll see something and be like, and I'll just be in the mood to write.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a debate of write melody first and then lyrics, or write lyrics first then melody.
Yeah.
For me, I personally go with I write the melody first and then I kind of base it off of that. That's kind of my process. Sometimes it can take a long time to write a song, sometimes it won't, and I'm kind of surprised at how fast it can go sometimes, because I was just really feeling it, I was in the moment. And it's one of the YouTubers that I used to watch described songwriting as it's what you want to say versus what needs to be said.
Wow,
yeah.
Deep.
Damn,
that was really good.
I love little nuggets like that.
Yeah,
Man.
so I was just damn, and it made sense. Sometimes you're going with the flow of things, and you're just really feeling it. That why stop? Just keep going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the times what you want to say is when you sit down, and you just think it was I want to write a love song like this, and really just think about it and everything, so I guess it just depends, it could go either way,
Do you ever sit down and write sit down and write a song all the way through, or do you sometimes go, I'm write a part of it today, or maybe part of it next week?
I used to back in the day just write songs just all the way through, but nowadays I have trouble with it. I'll probably go halfway through the song and then I'll hit a block. Mm-hmm. I feel because nowadays I want to add more depth to my music. When you guys were talking about the street photography, it was easy, it's I know how to make it easy, but that's not what I'm trying to go for now.
You gotta challenge yourself.
Exactly, challenge myself and really show people what I can do and what I want to be known for, And nowadays when I write a song, I really want to take the time with it. I really don't want to rush through it, and it's just I feel there's just so much to get out of that trial and error, So yeah.
Do you produce your own music, or do you have producers, or?
I do have producer friends, and like I mentioned before, I produced my first album and everything, But like I want to get to that point where like I want to learn it by myself. Like I want to learn it myself and kind of like see where it goes off from there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, a lot of producer friends here in Vegas, and you know, we have the access to learn it on our own. So you know, yeah.
No excuses.
I know there's literally no excuse.
But you started off with the guitar, or what was your first instrument? Ever?
The very first instrument that I remember playing was piano.
Oh, nice.
And then when I was in school, like in grade school, I did like xylophone and like marimba. I didn't pick up like guitar later on because like I saw some friends playing guitar, and then like I noticed that like the girls were looking at them. I'm just like, so that's what I gotta do, huh? I'm just like, all right.
The number one motivator, right?
And that's the thing, is just like I kind of just like had a knack for it, I guess. Like I know like some people were saying like it's really hard to like pick up and everything, but it kind of just came natural to me. I guess like, you know, music's like something that I'm pretty decent at. So it's just like, yeah, you know, and kind of just built off from there, you know. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How old are you, bro?
26.
Are you 26? Oh, so you're our age.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to notice a lot of people we have on here. They're like we've had people I've met people who are out there now in Vegas, and they're like, oh, I'm 18, 19, and then I start feeling old.
Oh, dude, I feel you, man.
And you know, like, and then you think about it, and you're like, wait a minute, we're still young. Like,
I know, man.
You know, like that's crazy.
Very young.
How old are you, Chuck?
I'm 25.
I always forget.
And see, that's the thing too, is like when you see like younger artists or like younger people like doing their thing, and you're like, shit, I should have started like sooner, man.
Kylie
you know?
Jenner,
Yeah.
$1 billion.
I got to
But
think
some some people are blessed, man, to be able to be born into like you know, a certain lifestyle already.
Right.
You know, like I know that there's people who or other photographers who are really, really dope that I look up to, and it's like, oh yeah, I started, you know, when I was 10. My grandma gave me her camera, and I'm just like, damn, I didn't even start doing photography till last year. Like really, like, you know, but then there's people who are like, oh yeah, I just decided one day to pick it up and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why like I feel like it's just different for people, you know, and like I feel like
Never compare yourself, bro.
Never compare yourself.
Never.
Can't compare yourself.
That's toxic.
I mean, I say like this, you know, use it as if it drives you, use it, but never compare yourself with anybody. And I mean, worst case, compare yourself with people who have it worse.
Yeah,
you know what I
feel
mean?
bad because like I used to have that problem, man. Like some of like these singer-songwriter friends of mine be so successful, and like you catch them on your news feed like doing such awesome shit, and you're like that's not fair, you know. Like I'm putting in the work.
Social media has been making easy. Oh, did I turn it on by accident?
Keem turned on the AC, y'all.
Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to feel the button.
AC's like, yo, you need me, Keem? You need me?
Keem, we know you trying to get trying to get cool over there, bro.
Okay, so for the listeners who aren't physically here with us, let me just tell you that the AC in my house went out. So we're in my kitchen right now. Like, this is where we do our podcast. But there's no air, and everything's just kind of like, we have a big old light that you probably can't see
so we
off
have this
camera.
portable AC unit right near his.
Right
near my back. Turn it on and get a little cool.
Hey man, I ain't mad.
He just doesn't want to say it. He's just like,
yeah,
let me just catch a little drift, bro.
I thought I was gonna try to be slick with it, bro.
I know, right? Right? Let me just catch a little whiff of this air, you know.
I felt like I cut one of you off.
I think it was.
Shit, man, I can't even fucking remember.
Yeah, I think it was something about like
social media making it easier for you to
social
compare
media
yourself.
making,
Yeah.
and then the other thing was to I think for me, and I've learned this from Gary Vee, is just be patient. Because like some people are gonna get that right away, their stardom. It happens. It happens. Yeah. But be patient and work your best. That's it.
That's one of the things that he did put in perspective, bro. Is how you can be, you can grow up to be 30 years old. 40 years old, right? You're 40 years old, never made music, you've always wanted to, but you never did it. Who knows? Maybe in those 40 years, you created those right connections that you took the direction as far as meeting people that you needed to meet, and then all it takes is that one song that you create in the first 2 years of your career, and then now you're 2 Chainz. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how old was 2 Chainz when he made it? Wasn't he like 34, 35 or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Same with like Danny Brown, too. That's true. That's true.
And there's artists who work their entire life to finally make it at 40, 50. And then there's artists who make a huge career at the age of 15, and by 17, 18, they're done.
I know.
They're like, I'm retired.
That's the thing, too, man. It's like, I feel like nowadays, too, is like people are in that rush, bro. Like, they want that 15 seconds of fame, bro.
That's one thing that Gary...
That's why you see everything, and it's like, why are you doing that, bro? Like, why are you doing that? Like, but...
Too many people are chasing like the cash and not really doing what they love.
That's
like we say this on every single podcast. It's literally how it is. You can't fake the funk. You can't lie to yourself. You got to do what you love, or it's not. I feel like it's not gonna last.
Yeah, it's not gonna last, dude. Like you'll see it too. Like it'll just
feel
make sense. Yeah, you'll feel it.
Be depressed.
Like Gary Vaynerchuk always says, because he does have an ultimate goal for what he's trying to do. He's trying to buy what?
Buy the Jets.
The New York Jets or something.
Yeah.
Is it a baseball team or what is that?
I think.
I don't know nothing.
Do you know
about
what the
sports.
Jets is?
New York Jets.
Say, yeah.
Is it Jets or Mets?
New York
Jets.
Jets.
To say Jets is the football team.
Yeah, football team.
Yeah.
He wants to buy the football
Anyway,
team.
he's trying to buy that football team, right? And anybody who knows anything, like they know that it costs $2 billion. He says that he doesn't want to buy them till he's like 70, 80 years old. And the reason he says is because he's too selfish and in love with the journey of getting there, rather than just I have the Jets now.
It makes sense though.
Basically, he says like love the process, enjoy the process, because like at the end goal, once you get it,
like,
what else is there?
You know, like
there's usually you start finding other things to do, and then you enjoy the process again. So try to enjoy the process.
Yeah, exactly. No,
we're giving you a lot of plugs right now, Gary Vaynerchuk. You better repost this videos and share it to your followers.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
No, but seriously though, like great like words of encouragement from him. Like another person that I follow, like especially for music stuff, is Adam Ivy. I love Adam Ivy.
Adam Ivy?
Yeah.
That's the homie.
Dude, I love Adam Ivy, man.
Yeah.
Like he just like puts it in perspective for like musicians and like artists too. Just like, damn, like you're right, dude. And that's the thing too, is like you can tell with him, like he doesn't have like a very gigantic like super big like following, you know, but like his engagement is ridiculous, man. Like the people that engage with him like is it's nuts, man. Like you can tell like people like really enjoy his content. Like they appreciate like what he has to say, and like as an individual, it doesn't seem like he's being like superficial or anything. Yeah. Like I feel like
he's 100%. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I feel like I'm legit like getting to know Adam. You know. Like I feel like that's another like reason as to why like he's getting there, man. Like I wish him nothing but like the best of success, because that guy is super dope.
Wait, so real quick for me who doesn't know, who's Adam Ivy?
He's a producer. So he produces music and he creates YouTube content talking about anything from like, you know, what's the best way to do this? You know,
like, this will like help your like marketing game. Like this is branding. You know, like so, like he legit goes like behind the scenes.
Kind of like Curtis. What's his name? Curtis King TV.
Oh yeah,
that guy's pretty good too.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I used to know. Like he used to come out here all the time. Like with the, damn, I can't even remember anything.
Then don't interrupt, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Damn. But yeah, Curtis King is definitely, that's another dope fool. Like he's come such a long way.
Adam was in town a couple months ago. We're supposed to do a video, but something came up and it ended up. He's dope, man. He's dope.
Dude, you should check. Like he's definitely some really enjoyable stuff, man.
He's legit. Like we DM back and forth, and like I think he's coming back to town pretty soon. So.
I love that though, man. I love like his love for his followers, dude. I love that interaction and everything. I'm just like, dude,
it's genuine.
Exactly. You know, it's authentic. It's genuine. Like, you know, like some people, like you can see they just have a really big head about themselves. It's like I'm too good for you kind of thing. But like this guy's like down to earth. He's like, I know that I'm just like you. Yeah. Like I just want to help out. You know, and that's so awesome, dude. Like we need more genuine people like that.
He has a clothing line too, I think. Like
oh yeah, Just Be. Yeah,
Just Be. He does like I think sportswear and stuff like that. It's dope, man. The guy's a hustler, like 24/7.
Yeah, you could tell that he knows what he's doing, man. He's putting in that work.
He grinds.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, do you have a project you're working on right now and for this year?
As of right now, I think what I was planning to do, I think I'm gonna work on like one more single, actually. Work on a few covers and everything, some quality covers. While like working on like my internet stuff and like working for next year. Like I said, dude, the work never stops, man. There should be no reason as to why you should sit down and be like, there's nothing for me to do. I'm like, there's always something for you to do.
Always,
man. That's crazy.
There's one thing about us, man, is we get bored easy at a like anything creative. Like not so much like we get bored of being creative, but like for example, we both do photography, video. He does music producing. I used to do music recording and engineering. And you always swap back and forth between things. Yeah, you know, like exactly. if I ever feel like I'm getting tired of I'm getting too many corporate gigs for photography, now I want to do a creative video. Yeah, you know,
I feel like it's just like some needed time, you know, because I feel like that's the same thing with music. Is like when you are like recording your song, but you hear it so many damn times.
Oh my god, bro.
Dude, that's such a killer, man. Like, that's why I feel like it's so necessary for, like, you and, like, your engineer, like, to step back, man. Because you need that shit to be fresh. And, like, there's, like, that mindset where you want to get it out as fast as you can. But, like, that's where the errors come in, man. Like, that's where all the mistakes come in. That's when, like, when you're done, you're like, oh, shit, I should have done this. Or, like, oh, I really should have, like, I didn't want to have this in there, you know, now that I think about it. That's why, like, I always feel like some time is, like, needed to kind of, like, just walk away, take a breather, take some time to yourself, like, you know, just relax, have fun, enjoy yourself a little bit, then come back to it with a fresh mind, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people, because, like, when you hit that block, and you try to force your way through, you'll mentally get exhausted so fast, and it can, like, it's for me sometimes, like, I've hit that block with, especially music, you know what I mean?
Just switch the camera back to you, bro.
Oh.
How about that?
Thank you, Doug. Sorry, y'all, if you don't know, I'm doing, like, talking, and I'm switching the camera, so I have to, like, remember everything, but... Going back to, what was it? Shout out to Keem derailing me all night long.
Music, you're telling
the block. Yeah, the block. Like, it's been times, like, where I hit a block and I'm, like, literally mentally exhausted for, like, 3 days. And I can't do anything creative because, I don't know. It's super weird.
It's like that, man. Like, I feel like just you need that break, though, you know? Because, like, you're, like, using up energy. Like, you're using up that mentality. And you're just not going to get anything creative out of that, you know?
Like
I feel like it's just counterproductive. I feel like you're going against yourself.
Yo, for sure.
So, yeah.
What's your guys' philosophy on releasing single after single versus putting together, like, an album?
I actually, like, was thinking about this, like, not too long ago. I feel like starting off, I feel like single after single is the way to go.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, I understand, like, there's, like, people that just, like, want to go album first, and I really shouldn't say anything because, like, I did an album first technically, but yeah.
Bro, this AC unit.
Look at him, trying to catch those.
Bro, we know what you're trying to do.
I know, it's
dog.
okay, man. Like, it's fine. I get it. You know?
I just wait till I ask you guys a question, kick it to you, and then I'm like.
Right.
All right.
But no, yeah, I feel like nowadays, especially if you're up and coming and you're new, I feel like that's just like the best way to kind of like catch people's attention, you know, like consistently, is to like put out like single after single. Like time frame wise, I feel like, you know, put one out and then maybe, I don't know, it's kind of debatable. Like some people, like I hear there's this guy that like posts up like singles like every week. I'm like, that's nuts, dude.
No, every day.
That's
like
crazy.
every day.
That's nuts, man.
Some people?
No, there's one guy on Instagram who they're not very long. They're like 1 minute songs, but he'll literally wake up every day and just write a song every day.
That's nuts, dude. Like, I'm just like, more power to you. Like, I'm not talking down about it. Like, yo, like mad respect and everything. But I feel like, you know, like maybe you stretch it out like a month or like maybe a couple weeks or something, just so you could get that feedback. And, like, you really, like, take into consideration what people are thinking about your song and, like, what, you know, take some notes and everything, you know?
Yeah.
I feel that's really important. And I feel like why I say that, like, you know, with an album starting off, I'm not really in with, because especially if you don't have a following, like, you're not going to get anything back, really, from an album being put out first, you know?
You can 100% do it, but you're talking about more as, like, your return on your investment, right?
Yeah.
You're more people are more likely to listen to one of your songs than to listen to an entire 12-track album.
Exactly.
Oh, 100%. You know? And I was gonna say, would you ever challenge yourself to do an album in like a certain amount of time to see if you can do it just for fun? I
think I would actually. Yeah.
That'd be tight.
I think I really would.
That'd be cool. That'd be a sick challenge.
I feel like it'd be like a challenge, but at the same time, like I feel like part of it would kind of be fun, you know? Until I'm actually going through it, because that shit's so tiring, bro. Yeah. I remember like recording myself, and like it kind of like got to the point like, all right, well, here we go. Gotta go back to the recording booth and everything, you know. But no, you could definitely make something like that fun. You know, definitely.
It's like the 48-hour film festival. You know,
I was just thinking about something like that. Like, what if we had something where like you could team up with like a videographer, a photographer, maybe a painter, maybe a musician, a producer, whatever, and you guys like you have a chain, right? And you have the artist. So we want you to write a song with these 3 ideas in mind, right? And then that song needs to inspire the photographer to take a photo that then the painter paints. Or something. You know what I mean?
Yo, I think Keem's onto something, bro.
Yeah, like a chain or something. I don't know. I think of things like this, bro. Like, what's a way you can kind of like make it interesting, you know?
Right. No, yeah, definitely.
I mean, involve everybody. That's kind of genius. You're involving every single aspect of art.
I think creativity for me is like the funnest when you do it with other people too.
Yes, collaboration for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, because you like, especially with like good vibes and like good people, like it's just nonstop. It's just like you don't want to stop, man. Like it's just a good time, you know.
Yeah, people who are on the same train of thought as you, where it's like no one's gonna get offended, or you know, you're kind of all we're doing this for fun, and it's gonna be something that we're all gonna like do.
Because at that point, it's like two heads are better than one. Like if you start lacking in a creative side, somebody else can like put their little.
That's another thing too. Like I think another great thing about it is perspective. Yeah, I really feel like because like you see like one thing, but like that person can see another thing, and like that's just another great. Yeah, it's perspective. You know.
That's why I like shooting with Chuck whenever we do like gigs together, like. If I'm burnt out, bro, and we're like on a job that's like 8-10 hours long or something, if I'm burnt out, he'll see something that I didn't see. Damn, you know?
Man. Wait, so
vice
like,
versa.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Dude. I was just gonna ask, is like, so most of the stuff that you guys do, like, do y'all like do it together like all the time, or like no, something you do individual?
We used to do a lot of work together, but recently, Chuck's been doing more like a freelance on his own. So he has a couple of retainers with like a couple different places out here in Vegas.
Shit, yeah.
And then I do freelance on my own. Like I got a wedding coming up on Saturday.
There you go, man.
I still do my photo shoots, music videos. But if we're ever both not doing anything, and it's like, yo, bro, what are you doing this Saturday? Well, I'm not. Well, you want to come help me do this or something? Right, you know, I mean, if we get paid, we get paid. But if it's just like a passion project, either way,
it's a win, dude.
We've worked on projects together where we both get paid, and we've worked on projects where it's just like,
we don't get paid.
Yeah, just for fun. It's trial and error.
Exactly, man.
You know,
and that's why I feel like you still get something out of it. You know,
oh, like, 100%.
So yeah.
Well, time. That's one thing that people don't talk about is the value of time. Like, you know. It's fun to do things for free, but you need to get some kind of value out of it, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
like,
definitely, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, you would write a song for an artist, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you would write a song for free if you thought that artist had major talent and they needed the right push. But if it's somebody that, like, you know, you don't see major potential in, or you're just not that invested emotionally into it, you probably are going to charge or, you know, ask for some other sort of compensation for that.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, you are a business. You are representing yourself in a professional way where you're offering a service. It comes down to that, man. Like, yeah, I understand like those passion projects and everything. You do stuff for free just because you love it, you know. But like at the end of the time, like you need to remember, like this is what you love, and you want to be successful to the point where this is going to be your income, and this is how you're going to be living, you know. So is doing off of this. So. You know, it's kind of like, don't forget, like, you are passionate about this, but at the end of the day, you know, like, this is what you do. This is your professional service. This is your business, you know, so, yeah.
That's real talk.
Damn, that's crazy how, that could be almost be its own episode, how you, as an art, you're an artist, but you're also a business, or you're a photographer, but you're also a business. Like, how do you go about picking and choosing the gigs that you work on for free versus, you know, what do you decide to pay for?
Right.
How much is your time worth? Like, how is it calculated, right? And I think ultimately for everybody it's different, man. You know,
I mean, it really is.
I guess like if you see an artist that you look up to, if it's like let's say you work on a movie.
I'm telling you, bro, this thing is really close to me, bro. I'm just gonna let it run. Keep going. I'm just gonna let it run for a little bit.
Yo, man, he doesn't have to lie to us. We know, bro.
Just get the coal there. You got it.
Had the finagle,
so much, bro. But see, I always get derailed so much. I'm derailed now. But screw you, Keem.
All right.
What's next?
Shots.
How long have we been going for?
I think we're at an hour. I don't know. Probably an hour.
All right, so let's close it up because it is getting a little hot in here, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why it's been so frequent. He's been turning that shit on, dude. You know,
I'm just conveniently sitting right next to it, bro.
All right.
No, but yeah, we're all sweating up here.
Yeah. But
hopefully for the next podcast we can go ahead and get the AC back up and running.
Yeah,
it's all good, man. Like I haven't even noticed. It's just been such a good time. You know, it's a good time.
Yeah,
do you have any words of wisdom for anybody out there who's kind of like wanting to start a music career and maybe thinks
or YouTube
or thinks, you know what, it's 2018, like everybody who's made it has already made it, or there's no point in me doing it because the market's already saturated. Any last final closing remarks?
Honestly, like just do it. You know you love it. You know you're passionate about it. Like just do it. Like don't compare yourself to others. Like just be fixated on you and like working on yourself. And like one of the things for me is I always put shit off because I always want like the best quality. But like I'm a do a little Adam Ivy quote here actually because I love the dude. But work with what you got until what you got gets what you want. Yeah,
that's gangster.
Yeah,
dope.
Dude. Yeah, so just like, damn, like that's true. So it's just like there's really no excuse, man. It's just work with what you have, you know, and like in time, everything will kind of fall into place. You just got to be consistent with your work, be patient, and, you know, just keep doing your thing, really. So, yeah.
That's dope. That's perfect.
Really dope.
So where can people find you on the internet, man?
So all my social media is pretty much the same. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, it's at Angelo Munji, ANGELOMUNJI. And my YouTube is youtube.com/Angelo Munji Music. You could find my website, angelomunji.com. That has everything. So
yeah. Everything across the board is just one place.
Just one place. Yeah, you know, your go-to
Guitar
place.
Boy 702.
No, man, no. We dropped that years ago. He ain't a boy no more.
Is that channel still up?
Yeah, the channel's still up, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
sometimes I just like looking, like just going back and it's like, nice. Like that was me, you know?
You gotta always love the past.
Yeah, I put all my old private videos on
unlisted.
Private. Unlisted.
Same here, bro.
No, bro, private, password protected, maybe even like removed from the website.
Right.
There's just some things you just don't need to look back.
Right. It's just like y'all don't need to see this.
It's crazy. It's also crazy how like you look back to the person that you used to be. Because if you look at your, like, did you have Twitter when it first came out, like in 2000?
No, I actually was a latecomer when it came to Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a little bit later. I think like a year or two after like Twitter came out. But yeah, I was pretty new to the game when like, you know, people were already on it, you know. But yeah.
Well, the reason to bring it up is because like I look at my, like, if I scroll back far enough in my Twitter feed when I was using it in like, what was it, 2010, 9 or whatever. Man, I cringe at some of the things that I used to post, bro.
Yeah, I feel like that too on like Facebook. It was like, yo, on this day, and you like see some of the stuff. You're like, oh, like why,
Thank
bro? Like,
God, MySpace is gone because that would have been.
That was your platform, bro.
Bro, back in the day, I mean the bulletins and all that.
I bet
you guys
you
remember all that.
Yo, the surveys and everything
bro.
too, and like, yo, I love the MySpace notifications though. Like when you came and like you
bro,
opened
when
up
you
your
logged
profile,
in,
and then,
that felt so good, bro. Oh my God.
When you logged into your MySpace and you saw those little red emails or friend requests, you
were
were like, yes, something happened today.
For real though, you know? Like, oh man, like there. We could probably talk about that another time, but like
episode.
I legit could go off on like those old MySpace days, man.
Good times, man.
Well, man, we appreciate you being on the podcast, bro.
Thank you so
much. Thank you guys
man.
So much for having me. It's so much fun, man, and I seriously am so glad I got to be here with you guys.
So feel free to check out Angelo Munji on the internet, and until next time, catch you guys on the next morning dinner.
We love y'all.
Love y'all.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.